Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and in today's video, I've got some fantastic new information for you. We're going to be doing crypto chart TA, and we're going to be taking a look at some very interesting metrics that I have pulled up and I've been following for Bitcoin and crypto. So, starting with what happened today. So, today was a pretty strong red day. We can see that Bitcoin was down almost 3%, Ethereum was down 3.5%, and our Binance coin was down almost 2.5%, let's say about 2%. So the NASDAQ was down today, about 2.41%. That drove everything else down with it. So, in conjunction with it, because usually Bitcoin and the NASDAQ and crypto are very closely correlated, so it caused the entirety of the crypto market to sell off a bit today. But there is something very interesting going on with the Bitcoin price action right now, and that is that we're seeing the emergence here of what is known as a golden cross. All right, so golden cross traditionally has been a technical indicator that occurs when the market in the short-term moving average 50-day of an asset rises above a long-term moving average or the 200-day. Okay, now when traders see a golden cross occur, they view this chart pattern as indicative of a strong bull market. All right, that little last bit here is the key, the strong bull market. So what we have here is we have the 200-day EMA and the 50-day EMA. The 200 EMA is in blue and the 50 EMA is in red. And so what you can see here is that the 50 is crossing above the 200, and that would give us this golden cross, okay? So that traditionally does speak for a bullish indicator for Bitcoin. And in fact, if we go back and we take a look at Bitcoin's history, we can see that the bullish golden cross has occurred before most of these large rises up. And in fact, we take a look at something like over here back in August of 2021, we can see another golden cross happen, followed by another huge bound in the Bitcoin price right here. We can see that in the prior bear market right now, we had in 2020 that it was they had a bullish golden cross right here at May of 2020, and that also preceded a big run up here. And then you also have another bullish golden cross right here, and that had another run up here. So it's a pretty well documented technical indicator that usually means bullish price action will follow. Now, today we've had kind of a big sell-off type of day because, again, Bitcoin and crypto have been following the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ went down, so Bitcoin is going down. And actually, if you can take a look at what we got right now, we can see that Bitcoin has tested the support level that we talked about here at 24,200 and is now breaching through this level. So it's doing something very similar to what we saw here back on Sunday, where you had a candle that kind of wicked through this support level here. Now, I wouldn't be too concerned about this because as long as Bitcoin stays within an uptrend, this really shouldn't be super concerning. And if it does actually come below this support level here at 24.2, what you're looking at is additional support here at about 23.5. And usually I'd say at about 24,000, there should also be fairly strong support there as well. Now, Bitcoin can come down and retest these levels and still be in an uptrend. So if we go and we take a look at the 1 day, what we can see here is if it came down to those levels, about 23.5 or 24, it would still be in a very nice uptrend. So this uptrend has been in effect ever since the January rise here. You can kind of see, I'll outline it here, and you can see that that is our general uptrend here for Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be too concerned as long as it doesn't break through this uptrend right here. That would probably put it at about 22,000, about 23,000 or so. If it does come down through this level and blast through this level, and then it then takes out the support here that it made at 21.6, that's when I would start to be a little concerned, because at that point the uptrend is broken, and then now on top of that you've broken the closest support that you can get to that it previously bounced off at. And that would probably mean that we're gonna go down and we're gonna test the lows or the supports down here at 20,500. Now, I want to wait to see what happens on that, because I don't think that it's likely that we're going to come all the way back down here at 20,400. But I mean, it is a possibility. It's just a smaller possibility. So I'm going to wait to see how things play out. And it is normal to have a pullback when Bitcoin has gone up so dramatically. You would normally wind up seeing a little bit of a pullback as the market kind of catches its breath, as traders catch their breath, and they start consolidating within a certain range. Now, if we take a look at the funding rate, we can see here that the funding rate is still showing the longs are strong and dominant and in control right now. We have not seen a flip of this in some time, so longs are still strong and dominant. If you take a look at the interest, the open interest, which is kind of like you can think of it kind of like a volume, an aggregate of all the contracts, both the perpetual and the futures contracts. We can see here that it has actually been increasing over the last week. It's increased pretty dramatically, and so what that means is you're likely to see increased volatility as time goes on. So using these two indicators together, you can see that it is majority long and strong, and there's a bit more volatility into it as well, which means that we could wind up getting a strong move to the upside as long as this funding rate stays green. If it flips red, and that means the shorts are in control, then we could probably wind up seeing a bigger move to the downside. Now, as for Bitcoin's own kind of historical backdrop, February historically has been a very good month for Bitcoin. Normally, it's a green month for Bitcoin, except for a couple of years, 2020 and 2014, in which it was a red month. So right now, I'm expecting that Bitcoin is still going to wind up being green for February. And right now, we're at about a 5% gain on the month. And if this historically... if it historically tracks what we've seen before, then we will wind up with a green February to end February. Now, March is kind of a different story. March has a majority of red marches over like the last 10 years or so. They've only had about 4 green marches over the last 10 years. So I think March is probably going to be a month in which we see a bit of a pullback. All right, so with Bitcoin, I'm going to be just waiting to see how things play out right now. It would be nice to add on a little bit of a dip, especially comes down here and retests this upper trend line here at about 23,000. That would be an interesting point. I'm definitely considering adding to my position at that point. And especially if it goes below that level, we'll see what happens. But one of the last thing I wanted to talk about here is that one of the reasons why this 25,000 level has been such strong resistance is because we go ahead and we take a look at the 200 and the 50 EMA, and we can see they both kind of converge in this very same area right here. So this is primarily one of the reasons why this resistance level has been so hard for Bitcoin to overcome, because it's not only trying to overcome the previous resistance level that it set back in August, but it's also trying to overcome the 50 and the 200-day moving average, which have been very strong resistance points for Bitcoin. So if it ever breaches above this level and breaks out strongly, that would be insanely bullish for Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and talk about Ethereum here for a minute. So Ethereum has kind of a same sort of thing going on, especially with that resistance point that we've seen, and especially with this, with the 50 EMA, that's proving to be very strong resistance right now for Ethereum. Now, one thing we could wind up seeing is that with this 200 EMA, we could wind up getting a bit of support here. It has come down quite a bit, and that's on the weekly, by the way. It has come down quite a bit in the last day or two. You can see we have multiple red candles. That's pushed it below the support line here of 1671. Now, Ethereum does have additional support down here. We can actually take this support level and we can move it down here, and we can see that we are testing a new support line that it made back in the 16th of February. This is where I would start to be a little concerned about Ethereum, because if it can't hold this level, then most likely what you're going to see is it's going to come down here probably to about 1589. Now, just like with Bitcoin, there is a long-term uptrend for Ethereum, but it's a little bit more choppy. Okay, so we're almost at the edge of this right now, and this is a really rough uptrend to drop. So if it goes right through this level here at, again, about 1630, then I would definitely be a little bit more concerned with Ethereum. It's been unable to push above this level here at 1716, so we'll have to see how things turn out with Ethereum. But what you want to see is you want to see a strong rejection off of this support level, and then you want to see it bounce higher. So you want to see it bounce right off of that support level and then immediately try to threaten to take out this 1700 level if you're bullish on Ethereum. If you're bearish on Ethereum, you want to see it crash right through that support level and then probably come down. It'll probably come down and retest at about 1573, maybe here at about 1562. There's a lot of price action right down here, so that's where I would be looking for new support for Ethereum. Now, as for Binance Coin also went right through its support level right here at 311. Now, you can also go ahead and just take this and move it down a little bit. There's a more support for Binance Coin here at about 303. I would put that at 303 or about 300 because the market does tend to gravitate towards the rounded numbers. So we can probably wind up seeing support down here at about 303, 300. And if that fails, we're looking at support here at about 290, 294, somewhere in that region, 291, 290. But there is a lot of support for Binance coming all the way down here that we've seen made back in the 13th of February. But just like with Bitcoin and just like with Ethereum, Binance has been unable to push above this resistance line at 320, and it remains to be seen if it can actually accomplish that. Binance Coin has been weaker than Bitcoin and weaker than Ethereum over this last cycle, and I have yet to see that change or something to change my mind that it will actually continue to be more bullish and flip, and we'll get like a trend change here. But right now, it seems like it's stuck in a bit of a downtrend. Look for this support level here to hold at 303, and if it doesn't, then we could be going much lower at those specific other levels that I talked about. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about the Golden Cross, and if you guys believe that means that we're going to be getting a bull market, or there's going to be some bullish price action coming up. Let me know what indicators you guys are looking at, or if there's a specific crypto that you want me to take a look at and do chart CEA on that. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video.